The deadline for the switch from ICD-9 to ICD-10 codes is upon us, and if your practice is like most, you're not quite ready. IntelliDocs can make the switch easier for you by automatically displaying the diagnoses that your practice uses most often, and by allowing you to search for ICD-10 codes by description or with the ICD-9 codes you already know. To view and update the diagnoses on a patient's problem list in IntelliDocs, open the Patient Summary screen. Click the Problems button to jump right to the problem list, and click the Add link over here at the right to add a new problem to the list. The list you'll see first shows the diagnoses that are used most often in your practice. If you don't see the diagnosis you need on this list, click in this box at the top left corner of the list and start typing to search the complete list of diagnoses. You can search by description, ICD-9 code, or ICD-10 code. When searching by description, you can be as generic as wrist fracture or as specific as trapezoidal bone. If you know the ICD-9 code for what you want, type that to see the closest matching ICD-10 codes. You can always backspace over what you've typed and try again. The list will automatically update to show items that match what you've typed, and you can click once on the best match to select it. In some cases, IntelliDocs can find a specific ICD-10 code that matches the ICD-9 code you enter. When that happens, IntelliDocs will display an OK button down here at the bottom of the list. If you click that, the diagnosis you selected will be added to the patient's problem list, and you can then add some additional details, such as when the problem began. For some items, though, you may need to provide more details, such as which side of the body is affected, whether this is an initial or subsequent encounter for this problem, what trimester the patient is in if you selected a pregnancy-related item, and so on. In those cases, you'll see this Choose Specific ICD-10 button instead of the OK button. Click that, and IntelliDocs will help you choose the best code. General codes are shown in black text, and specific codes are shown in blue text. For the wrist fracture example I've chosen, I need to select both a side of the body and the type of encounter. Let's say that the left wrist is affected. If I click on the general entries for left, IntelliDocs will filter the list to show only the codes related to fractures of the left wrist. Now I can more easily review the remaining codes and click on the one that indicates that this is the initial encounter for a closed fracture. Now that I've selected a specific ICD-10 code, I see an OK button below the list, and I can click that to add this diagnosis to the patient's problem list. There's also a Choose a Different Problem button, just in case I selected the wrong entry and I need to go back one screen to choose something different. I'm satisfied with the code I found, so I'll click OK. Now the patient's problem list appears again with the new diagnosis at the bottom of the list. If I picked the wrong diagnosis after all, I can quickly remove it from the list by clicking this Remove link, which is available up until I save my changes. I'm still satisfied with this diagnosis, so I'm not going to remove it. Instead, I'm going to fill in some additional details about it. You can optionally use the Onset Date field to indicate when this problem began, the Status field to indicate whether the problem is active or resolved, the By field to record who diagnosed the problem, the date on which the diagnosis was made, and a brief note about the problem. After updating the patient's problem list, be sure to click the Save button at the bottom right corner of the Patient Summary screen to save your changes. The Patient Summary screen isn't the only place where you can update the patient's problem list. IntelliDocs' new Encounter Notes feature gives you the option of adding to and editing the problem list, selecting the diagnoses that are relevant to the current encounter, and setting the status of problems to active, stable, worsening, and so on. Look for our upcoming video on the new Encounter Notes feature.